Hi there, my name is Megan Miesler, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a rostered DCE, and I currently serve as the executive director at Lutheran Counseling Services in Winter Park, Florida. We have a partnership with your district, and I just wanted to share a message with you and encourage you through this difficult time in our country. Lutheran Counseling Services has seen a rise in the need for mental health, especially in children. And during this season, our caseload has more than doubled, which is somewhat concerning, but also what a great opportunity to continue this conversation and reduce the stigma around mental health. We are seeing a lot of students, elementary, middle, and high school, that continue to struggle with anxiety and depression, which oftentimes leads to behaviors of self-harm and even suicide. What I want to share with you in these couple of minutes is what you can do as teachers and educators, one, to care for the students and families in your classroom, but more importantly, to care for yourself. I want to end our time together with giving you some resources to make sure that you know that we are available for you to reach out to us, to staff cases with us, but also just to be a support in your own individual lives. What we are seeing in our students, one, is the result of isolation. Anxiety and depression are going to be increased in our students when they cannot reach those developmental milestones that are so important, especially in adolescence. And as you good educators know, those developmental milestones are centered around their peer groups. Unfortunately, during this pandemic, many of our students have been separated from their peer groups. And isolation from their peers will lead to depression and anxiety. So I want to encourage you as teachers, as you host classes virtually, as you do things utilizing more technology within your classrooms, encourage parents to allow their children to be reaching out with their peers. They need to have scheduled time with children their own age in their life. Whether that is video gaming, phone chats, text messages, whatever it is that they can be engaging with their peers, it is so important in their development. Another important piece that we are seeing so much more right now is to have several trusted adults in students' lives. And you, as teachers, as educators, you are those trusted adults. And so I just want to remind you that as a student confides in you, as a student shares their struggle with you, one, listen intently. That means you are their safe place. They trust you, and they want you to be engaged in the conversation with them. Keep your ears prone for things such as abnormal behaviors that we see in students. I get very concerned for my clientele when I hear that students are sleeping a lot, not eating 3 meals a day, and definitely not getting exercise. One of the things I've been telling my clients is, I just need you to go back to school so your body moves, so you walk around a campus, rather than just going from your bed to your computer, back to your bed. So the more that we can encourage our students to move their bodies, to physically be active, is going to be so important for fighting depression and anxiety. One of the other places that we need to work to destigmatize mental health is to be honest and transparent about how we're feeling. Our students need to hear from us that we are struggling too, and it's not abnormal to feel sad or overwhelmed by this pandemic. There was a time for a bit there that I was just waking up anxious and unsettled. And the more and more I talked to other people about it, they were experiencing it too. When we are honest and open about what we are feeling, it allows students in our classroom to know that they are not abnormal for what they are feeling. So I would encourage you as much as you can to normalize your feelings in front of your students so that they know what they're experiencing is what everybody else around them is experiencing too. Some of the bigger things that we always want to look out for in adolescents, elementary students, and even high school students, like I said, one was increased isolation. We are seeing a lot more too struggles with body image and how they feel about themselves and how they look. So, being aware of students who are voicing concerns about being isolated, about not getting enough sleep, about sleeping too much, or not moving their body, that's going to be important. Students that report an increased feeling of sadness over a couple weeks really need to be seen by a therapist or be assessed by their doctor. One of the best places that you can send students that you are concerned about is right back to their pediatrician. Sometimes that's the first place I send students to. So let's make sure that there's nothing physically going on in their body that's contributing to what they are experiencing. Again, if we hear any students make any threats about wanting to harm themselves or just not wanting to live anymore, we need to listen, ask questions, pointed questions. You will not plant the idea in a student's head just by asking if they have ever thought about hurting themselves. You, as a trusted adult in their life, need to be asking those important questions. I want to share with you a resource that we have been sharing with our classrooms and with the schools that we partner with, and it's called Be the One. You can look up that website, and they have an app that you can download that if you are worried about a student, it will walk you through how to assess the student for suicidal ideation. It can be an important tool and will help you understand what your next steps need to be. Of course, too, during this pandemic, we've seen higher reports of abuse and harm in families. If you have any at all concerns about families that are struggling and that there may be abuse or domestic violence in the home, please report that to your local authorities. All of this may seem so overwhelming, and you as teachers are trying to juggle and handle so much just in the classroom, not to mention your own struggles in your home and your own ways of coping with the pandemic. Please understand that the way that you have coped with crisis and trials in the past is probably going to be the way that you cope with it now. So don't expect your body to do this miraculous change in the middle of a crisis. What we want you to be focusing on as leaders and as educators is self-care. In crisis, there is always something to do. But if we don't prioritize taking care of ourselves first, we will become our own crisis. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you are taking time to eat 3 meals a day, to sleep at least 6 to 8 hours a night, to socialize with your peers, whether that be virtual or face-to-face, but that you are interacting with adults your same age outside of your home. And more importantly, to get some exercise. Your body needs to move, and it doesn't have to be intense movement. It can simply be a walk in the evening, getting outside with your family. The more and more I can encourage you to change the walls around you, the more you'll be able to cope with all the crises and struggles that are going on. We do know in the midst of this pandemic that people just need more support. So please know that we at Lutheran Counseling Services are here to meet with you. We have the MAP program, Ministerial Assistance Program, which means you can utilize our services at any time for free. Your district pays for these services, and we want to make sure that you have the tools in your hand to access us readily. The best way to get a hold of us is by calling our main office and dialing extension 800. Please reach out to us as you are in need. We are here to help you cope with the struggles that are going on in work, in home life, in the world around you. We also, in the midst of this pandemic, have opened up an on-call line that is available Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 3 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. You may refer anybody at your school, anybody that you know that's struggling, to give us a call, and they can talk with a therapist for up to 15 minutes for free. We also have opened up an email address for our on-call therapist so people can schedule a time to meet with her if the times that we are providing are not convenient. As always, Southern District, we love and care for all of the work that you are doing. You are an essential resource in the midst of this pandemic. But don't forget to take care of yourselves. Don't forget to prioritize your needs. As caretakers, you will be better able to service your classroom and those around you when you are taking care of yourself first, not last. May the God of peace be with you through this holiday season, and we look forward to meeting and chatting with you as those needs come about. Thank you, and have a great December.